Chosen one, listen closely. You are standing in a divine pause, not a delay, not denial, but a holy suspension designed by heaven itself. Everything that seems still in your life right now is not working against you, it is working for you. God has pressed pause because He is preparing to promote you. The silence you feel is not abandonment, it is alignment. You keep asking, why am I still waiting? The truth is, you are not waiting for God. God is waiting for you to finish becoming. Every unanswered prayer, every closed door, every delay has been part of a master plan to refine your character before releasing your crown. The world measures readiness by talent, but heaven measures readiness by trust. This is the season where God is watching, not what you can do, but how you endure when you can't do anything but believe. You've felt the weight of isolation. You've watched others rise while you stood still. But listen, isolation is not rejection, it is incubation. The treasure inside you is too valuable to be exposed prematurely. When God hides you, it is never to punish you. It is to prepare you. He is protecting your anointing from premature exposure. The deeper the foundation, the higher the tower. And your foundation is being built in this silence. It is written in the book of Job, chapter 23, verse 10. But He knows the way that I take. When He has tested me, I shall come forth as gold. That's what's happening right now. The test is not to destroy you, it's to refine you into gold. Every disappointment was fire. Every rejection was pressure. Every tear was heat. But fire doesn't consume gold. It purifies it. You are being purified so that when wealth, influence, and opportunity arrive, your heart will be strong enough to hold them without pride, without fear, without compromise. This is the divine pause before promotion. God is testing your obedience in stillness, because what comes next will require unshakable discipline. You are not being punished, you are being prepared to handle abundance without losing humility. The pause is heaven's classroom, where patience graduates into power. Chosen one, the greatest proof of faith is not shouting in church or declaring victory on the mountaintop. The greatest proof of faith is when you still praise while walking through a silent season. Can you still worship when heaven feels quiet? Can you still obey when nothing seems to move? That is the test, and you are passing it, even when it doesn't feel like it. Right now, heaven is observing your response to the storm. Angels are recording your posture, not your performance. Your reaction in this silence is the key that will unlock your next assignment. Don't let frustration cause you to forfeit what faith has been building. When God delays, it's never because He forgot, it's because He's constructing something greater than what you asked for. Do you know why this test feels so heavy? Because the blessing that follows will be greater than anything you've carried before. God doesn't test small people with small trials. You have been chosen for a generational calling, and that means the process must go deep. You've been set apart for financial breakthrough, not for personal luxury, but for kingdom impact. You will fund visions, feed nations, and free others through your obedience. But before God can trust you with abundance, He must teach you stewardship in scarcity. This test is training your spiritual muscles. If you can stay faithful with little, heaven will know you can be trusted with much. That's why you've been stripped, not to shame you, but to shape you. Every time you've wanted to give up, grace has pulled you back. Every time you felt unseen, heaven whispered, Not forgotten, just hidden. The hiding is almost over. The silence is almost finished. God is preparing to announce what He has been building inside you all along. So, breathe. Don't rush the pause. Don't despise the process. The same hand that allowed the fire is the same hand that will lift you from the ashes. When the test ends, your breakthrough won't just be financial, it will be total. Peace, purpose, provision, all at once. Chosen one. If this message speaks to your spirit, then this is your moment of agreement. Type 777 inches, the comments, as a prophetic act of faith that you trust God in the pause. Let the number echo your surrender. Then like, share, and subscribe, not as a ritual, but as a declaration that you choose alignment over anxiety. Your life is not on hold, it's on holy timing. Soon, when heaven says, now, everything that seemed still will suddenly move. You will not chase opportunities, opportunities will chase you. The same people who questioned your waiting will witness your winning. Hold your peace. The test is nearly over. You are not breaking, you are becoming gold. You have walked through a wilderness that few could survive. Every dry place, every unanswered prayer, every silent night when you questioned your worth, none of it was random. The wilderness has never been a place of punishment. It is the proving ground of the chosen. It is where God refines, not rejects, where He strips away comfort to reveal character. When everything you depended on began to crumble, heaven was not being cruel. Heaven was preparing you. You prayed for strength, and God answered with situations that forced you to grow. You asked for faith, and He answered with silence that demanded trust. You wanted increase, and He gave you tests that proved your endurance. Nothing about this season has been accidental, it has all been precise, measured, and purposeful. In the wilderness, distractions fall away. The applause stops. The noise fades. And you finally hear the voice that truly matters. You discover that the absence of people makes room for the presence of God. The wilderness teaches you how to depend on what you cannot see. It reveals who you are when no one is clapping, when no one understands, and when only heaven is watching. Through the writings of the Apostle Peter, in his first letter, chapter 1, verses 6 and 7, it is revealed. Now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. This is the secret behind your struggle. The fire you feel is not consuming you, it is refining you. The wilderness is heaven's forge. Each hardship burns away the parts of you that cannot carry destiny. Each disappointment purifies your motives. Each moment of pain transforms weakness into wisdom. God is not punishing you. He is preparing you to handle abundance without losing reverence. He is testing the strength of your foundation before He adds weight to your calling. Because when the blessing arrives, it must rest on stability, not fragility. You are not just surviving the wilderness, you are mastering it. Every day you endure. You prove that faith runs deeper than fear. The silence around you is not absence, it is a sacred pause where heaven is crafting endurance in your soul. When the noise of the world fades, the whispers of destiny grow louder. This wilderness is teaching you the difference between temporary success and eternal purpose. It is training your eyes to recognize the counterfeit from the divine. You are learning that the blessing is not the gold, it is the growth. It's not the outcome, it's the obedience that formed within you along the way. Many could not walk where you are walking now. The road is narrow because the promise is great. You were chosen for this refining. Every setback has been a signal that God sees something in you worth shaping. The fire you're walking through is proof of heaven's investment in your future. When you emerge from this place, you will not be the same. Your language will carry authority. Your heart will carry compassion. And your mind will carry clarity. You will know how to hold power without pride and how to lead without losing humility. The pain of this process will become the wisdom that sustains your next season. Chosen one, you are not lost, you are being led. Every step you take, even the ones that feel aimless, are marked by divine direction. The wilderness is not endless. It is the narrow passage before the open field. The moment you learn to worship without results, the heavens begin to move. So, stand firm. Do not curse the dry land that is teaching you to dig wells of faith. The same desert that starved your comfort is feeding your destiny. When this wilderness ends, and it will, you will not come out empty. You will come out golden, tested, and trusted by God Himself. You are the proof that refinement works. You are the evidence that trials produce treasure. The wilderness was never meant to destroy you. It was designed to define you. When this chapter closes, you will see why every unanswered prayer was necessary. The silence trained your spirit. The delay matured your faith. The wilderness was never wasted. It was the sacred ground where divine purpose took root beneath your pain. Soon, everything will align: the timing, the opportunities, the open doors. You will realize that what once looked like loss was actually divine positioning. The same God who led you into the wilderness is about to lead you into overflow beyond anything you imagined. You will not come out the same. Your eyes will see differently. Your heart will love deeply. And your spirit will walk boldly. The fire forged endurance. The pain birthed wisdom. And now, heaven declares, you are ready to carry abundance with integrity. You have been hidden for a reason. This quiet season, the space where recognition seems distant and doors seem closed, is not punishment. It is protection. God hides His strongest vessels before revealing them to the world. What feels like stillness is actually strategy. Heaven is positioning you away from distraction, preparing you for divine display. You keep asking, why am I invisible? But the truth is, you're not invisible, you're incubated. The hidden place is where identity is purified. God removes the need for validation so that when the spotlight comes, it won't seduce your heart. He is teaching you to value His approval above applause, His timing above opportunity, His voice above noise. You are being trained to move quietly but carry power. When the world doesn't see you, heaven does. The unseen moments of prayer, the tears no one knew about, the sacrifices that never received thanks, all of them are seeds in the soil of secrecy, waiting for heaven's appointed rain. The words of Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 6, declare, "But when you pray, go into your room, close the door and pray to your Father, who is unseen. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you." This is your assurance. Nothing done in obedience is ever ignored. The Father has seen your silent endurance, your quiet generosity, your hidden humility. Every unseen act has been recorded in eternity. The reward will not be delayed, it will simply arrive in the moment that brings him the most glory. Chosen one, this hiddenness is holy. God hides you not because you are unready, but because the world is. The stage must be set. The timing must align. The people connected to your destiny must take their places. When all is ready, heaven will call your name. The hidden place is where you gain weight in the spirit. It's where your faith is anchored, where your motives are purified. It is where God teaches you that true power is not in being seen, it's in being sent. He is shaping you into someone who can handle influence without arrogance, who can carry wealth without corruption, who can lead without losing humility. This season will end, but when it does, you will emerge transformed. Those who once overlooked you will witness what obedience in obscurity can produce. You will move with a quiet authority, a confidence that doesn't shout but shifts atmospheres. Do not rush the revealing. Let God finish his private work, for what he builds in silence cannot be shaken by noise. The longer the preparation, the greater the unveiling. The longer the delay, the deeper the destiny. Now, as a prophetic act of alignment, type hidden but chosen in the comments. Do it not as routine, but as revelation. When you write those words, you are declaring, I understand the purpose of my hiddenness. I am chosen, even when unseen. I trust the timing of heaven. You are not being withheld, you are being refined. The silence is building substance. The shadows are shaping strength. God is crafting a vessel that can carry weight, influence, and favor without cracking under pressure. When the curtain finally lifts, it will look sudden to others, but you will know it was years in the making. And in that moment, every hidden tear, every unseen prayer, every secret battle will make sense. God will reveal you not for attention but for assignment. You've been hidden in the hands of heaven. Soon, those hands will release you into purpose. But for now, stay still, stay faithful, and stay focused, because the silence is almost over, and your season of unveiling is near. When you type hidden but chosen, you are declaring that the silence has purpose. You're not overlooked, you're observed by heaven. The hiding is proof of calling. These words announce to the spiritual realm that you accept divine timing over human recognition, preparation over pressure, formation over fame. When you type hidden but chosen, you surrender the need to be seen. You choose peace over performance, purpose over popularity. It means you trust that God is working in rooms you haven't entered yet, arranging opportunities your eyes can't see but your faith already knows are coming. When you type hidden but chosen, you are aligning your spirit with heaven's rhythm. It is a covenant between you and God that you will not force doors open. You will wait for his command, knowing that divine release always follows divine readiness. Your patience becomes your weapon. When you type hidden but chosen, you declare that your story will unfold under divine authorship. You no longer chase visibility, you carry value. You no longer question why you're unseen, you celebrate the shaping. Because those hidden by God are always revealed with glory when heaven's appointed time arrives. When you type hidden but chosen, you remind darkness that concealment is not defeat but divine design. You affirm that being unseen is sacred preparation, not rejection. Heaven watches, shaping your destiny until revelation time arrives with unstoppable favor and undeniable purpose. Your hiddenness is heaven's greatest investment in you. You are standing at the edge of a decision that will shape the rest of your destiny. The test of obedience is never comfortable, yet it always carries the weight of breakthrough. God has placed you in a moment where your response will determine the next season of your life. It is not about what you say you believe. It is about what you do when belief costs you something. There are times when obedience feels unreasonable. God asks you to walk away from what looks secure, to give up what seems stable, to trust when everything inside you wants proof. But this is how faith matures. Real faith does not need understanding, it needs surrender. You cannot step into divine abundance while still negotiating with divine instruction. The word of the Lord through the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 2, declares, "All these blessings will come on you and accompany you if you obey the Lord your God." This is the principle that governs heaven's reward system. Blessings do not chase talent, beauty, or effort, they chase obedience. Every divine command carries within it the seed of provision. When God asks something of you, He is not taking from you. He is making room to give you more. The instruction is always connected to increase in your life. The test of obedience might look like walking away from a relationship that hinders growth, releasing a dream that has become an idol, or forgiving someone who doesn't deserve it. Each act of obedience removes the weight that delays your elevation. The more you surrender, the lighter your spirit becomes, and light spirits rise. Many cry out for breakthrough, but resist the very act that would unlock it. Heaven does not respond to emotion, it responds to obedience. Tears move compassion, but obedience moves power. You can pray for years, but one moment of surrendered action can open what 1,000 prayers could not. This is why the enemy targets your willingness to obey. He does not fear your worship songs or your declarations, he fears your obedience. Because obedience proves ownership. It says, "I belong to God even when I don't understand His ways." It silences the voice of fear and amplifies the voice of trust. Obedience will always be tested when the cost feels high. God will ask you to give in the place that challenges your logic, to act when it seems unreasonable. This is not cruelty, it is calibration. He is aligning your heart with heaven's rhythm. Every time you obey against your flesh, your spirit becomes more dominant. That is how authority is built. Think of Abraham, who walked up a mountain to sacrifice what he loved most. He didn't know that a ram was already waiting on the other side. God never wanted the sacrifice of Isaac. He wanted the surrender of Abraham's heart. The blessing was never delayed. It was waiting for obedience to release it. Right now, God may be asking you to obey in silence, to keep serving when you feel unseen, to stay faithful when nothing is changing. That obedience is your key. Each time you say yes, even through pain, you are building the bridge that leads from testing to triumph. And understand, this obedience is not a single act, it's a lifestyle. It's choosing daily to trust when you can't trace. It's walking when you don't know where the path ends. It's speaking light when darkness surrounds you. Over time, this kind of obedience transforms ordinary believers into extraordinary vessels. The hardest obedience often leads to the highest elevation. What feels like loss is usually the seed of multiplication. When you give up something for God, He returns it multiplied in ways you never expected. He is not looking for perfection, He is looking for surrender. This is your moment to pass the test quietly, faithfully, consistently. Heaven does not announce exams, it watches responses. The decision you make in the secret place will echo loudly in your next season. When you obey, you unlock favor that cannot be earned and access that cannot be explained. So stay steady. Listen carefully. Move when He says move, even if the step seems small, because sometimes the smallest act of obedience opens the greatest door of opportunity. The miracle is never far from the moment of surrender. You are being tested, not for failure, but for readiness. This trial is heaven's way of confirming your maturity. When obedience becomes your instinct, abundance becomes your environment. The crown always comes after the command is followed. Obey now, not out of fear, but out of love. For obedience born of love carries eternal reward. And when heaven sees that you obeyed, even in silence, the next season of your life will begin to unfold swiftly, beautifully, powerfully. Every act of obedience reshapes your spiritual DNA. It tells heaven you can be trusted with more. Even the smallest yes plants seeds that grow into divine opportunity. Keep walking faithfully. The unseen record of your obedience is already writing the testimony of your next victory and abundance. Heaven is watching you. Chosen one, every step, every thought, every moment of resistance and resilience, nothing escapes the eyes of the one who called you. You are not walking through this fire alone. Angels stand guard around your endurance, and the Spirit records how you respond when the pressure rises. This is the divine audit of faith. In the silence, your heart speaks louder than your lips. In the storm, your worship becomes a language only heaven understands, and it is there, in that unseen place, where your destiny is being written in golden ink. God is not testing to expose weakness, He is testing to reveal strength. You've been wondering if the heavens still notice your struggle, if your prayers still reach the throne. But they do. Every whisper, every sigh, every tear is part of a symphony of trust that ascends before God. The unseen realm listens when faith speaks louder than fear. The Apostle Paul writes in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." This means that nothing you've endured is wasted. Your struggles are not random, they are refining you into something magnificent. Every sleepless night, every disappointment, every setback has been carving wisdom into your soul. The weight of glory that is forming in you cannot be compared to the temporary pain of this testing. But there's more. In this season, heaven isn't only watching your endurance, it's also observing your compassion. How do you love while you wait? How do you treat others when you are tired, tested, and unseen? Your kindness in obscurity carries the fragrance of eternity. The angels assigned to your destiny are not recording your failures, they are marveling at your perseverance. They are witnessing how you refuse to curse God when life feels heavy, how you still extend grace when others give you reason not to. This is what makes you heaven's rare treasure, a heart that stays tender even in the furnace. You are being watched, but not with suspicion, with admiration. The Creator delights in seeing faith remain unbroken. Your posture in the trial becomes your prophecy in the future. The way you stand now will define the way you rise later. This is why your presence matters in this moment. You are not simply a listener, you are a living altar where divine words ignite transformation. Every time you open your heart to this message, something unseen shifts within you. It is as though heaven breathes closer, saying, "Stay, listen, grow." And now, if you feel that stirring inside the gentle fire of recognition, it's not coincidence, it's invitation. You are being called into deeper connection, not by obligation, but by desire. Think of it as planting a seed of light, your small act shining through the soil of time, joining thousands of other flames that together form one field of hope. So, if this message resonates within your spirit, let your response be simple yet sincere. When you choose to like this message, it's like whispering yes to heaven's reminder. When you share it, it's as though you release a dove carrying hope to someone lost in darkness. And when you quietly subscribe, you build a lighthouse, a promise that you'll keep returning to the shore of divine words. Do not see it as routine, it is reflection. Every gesture of engagement becomes a metaphor for connection, hearts lighting other hearts, ripples forming waves. You are not participating in a platform, you are joining a movement of light. Because this isn't about numbers, it's about resonance. About souls awakening to their identity as chosen. About hearts remembering that trials are tests, not tombs. When you allow yourself to connect, to listen, to share, to stay, you become both student and messenger. You take what healed you and hand it forward like light in cupped palms. You are watched with love, not judgment. You are being refined, not rejected. And you are invited, not pressured, to walk deeper into this unfolding of faith. The same hand that tests you is the hand that will lift you. The same eyes that observe your tears will soon witness your triumph. So breathe deeply. Feel the invisible presence around you. Heaven leans close every time you choose faith over fear, compassion over complaint, stillness over striving. That is the kind of worship that cannot be faked. And it is precious beyond measure. Let this message linger like a song between you and God, a melody of surrender and strength. For every time you choose to listen, to open your heart, to carry hope forward, you become proof that divine love is still alive on this earth. Each act of sharing light keeps the flame alive. Every gentle echo of faith spreads warmth to souls still wandering through their own cold nights of becoming. Your quiet agreement with heaven turns algorithms into altars, platforms into pulpits, and your simple click into a silent prayer that reaches eternity. You have seen doors close that once seemed permanent. Opportunities that looked certain have slipped away like sand through open fingers. And yet, somewhere deep inside, you sense that none of it was by accident. The closed doors were never rejection, they were redirection. Heaven was rerouting your path, steering you away from what looked good toward what was truly God. It hurts when doors shut unexpectedly. It feels like loss, confusion, even betrayal. But what you cannot yet see is that those closed doors were answers to prayers you didn't know how to pray. Sometimes, protection looks like disappointment. Sometimes, mercy comes disguised as no. According to the words of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 9, "As the heavens are higher than the earth, So are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. You see, God's plans don't always align with your timeline. And that's not a punishment, it's providence. If every door opened when you knocked, you would settle for less than what was designed for you. Heaven shuts doors that lead to detours. Every rejection has secretly been a rescue. There are places you wanted to enter where the atmosphere would have strangled your purpose. There are people you long to stay connected to who could not handle the version of you that God is building. It's not that you were unworthy, it's that they were unready. When heaven says no, it's often preparing a greater yes that cannot be taken from you. Closed doors are heaven's handwriting. They redirect your steps toward divine alignment. You've been trying to understand why the opportunities vanished, why the job didn't work, why the relationship ended. But God was protecting the purity of your destiny. Some doors were closed not to punish you, but to preserve the peace He planned for your future. Think of Joseph, betrayed and thrown into a pit. Every door seemed to slam shut his family's acceptance, his freedom, his reputation. Yet, each closed door led him closer to the throne. Had he forced one of those doors open, he would have forfeited the promise. The same is true for you. Every no has been a step toward your ultimate now. When doors close, the natural instinct is to knock harder, to fight for control. But divine maturity means learning to pause and ask, Lord, what are you protecting me from? That question turns frustration into wisdom. It transforms pain into perspective. You begin to see that every delay is a divine filter, removing what cannot travel with you into abundance. You are being refined for rooms that require restraint, not rush. The closed door teaches you that success is not in access, but in alignment. You will know you are growing when you can thank God for the opportunities He removed as much as for the ones He provided. In this stage of your journey, heaven is recalibrating your direction. What left your life made space for what is meant to last. The absence you feel now is the echo of something greater approaching. Soon, doors will open effortlessly, doors that fit your anointing, not your anxiety. But until then, stay still. Trust the divine locksmith. God never locks a door without holding the key to a better one. Every locked season is a test of whether you trust His timing more than your own. If this message resonates in your spirit, pause for a moment and let your agreement be known. Type 888 inches, the comments, as a prophetic act of completion and new beginnings. That number declares that what was once closed will soon open, not by force, but by favor. It's not superstition, it's symbolism. It tells heaven you trust its rhythm. The next time a door closes, don't mourn it, honor it, because some closures are celebrations in disguise. God knows which paths lead to purpose and which ones lead to pain. Let the doors close quietly. They are making room for divine openings that no man can shut. You will not need to chase what's next. When the time comes, the right door will swing open without you touching the handle. Until then, rest. The same hand that closed the door is already preparing the key to the next one. Chosen One Viet Bai said, when you type 888, you are making a declaration in the spirit that you trust God's endings as much as His beginnings. The number symbolizes resurrection and renewal. What seemed finished is only being transformed. You are telling heaven, I release control and welcome divine timing. When you write 888, you acknowledge that some doors must close for greater ones to open. It's your silent agreement with heaven's higher wisdom. A way of saying you believe that closed paths are actually redirections toward destiny. It's faith made visible in the smallest act. And when your fingers press those numbers, the spiritual world takes note. You are not merely commenting, you are aligning. The act itself becomes worship, a quiet echo of surrender that tells God you trust Him completely with what comes next. There are seasons when everything feels still, when it seems like the world is moving forward while you remain standing in the same place. You pray, you believe, you wait, but nothing changes. Yet, in heaven's timeline, delay is never denial. What you call delay, God calls design. Divine timing is not slow, it is strategic. You are being positioned, not postponed. The very moments that seem like stagnation are the sacred pauses where heaven rearranges circumstances in your favor. You may not see movement on the surface, but beneath the soil of your faith, roots are stretching deep, preparing to sustain the weight of what's coming. What looks like nothing is the invisible stage of growth. When Joseph was imprisoned, the cupbearer forgot his name. For 2 long years, he sat behind walls of waiting. Yet, in that unseen place, destiny was quietly aligning. Pharaoh's dream was being prepared. Opportunity was being woven. And Joseph's name was being whispered in the corridors of power. One morning, after years of silence, the door opened. What seemed like delay became divine orchestration. It was spoken in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it lingers, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. This truth carries power. Everything destined for you is on schedule. God's promises are never late. They are layered. Before He brings manifestation, He builds maturity. He withholds visibility until your vision can carry responsibility. When you rush ahead of His timing, you may arrive too early, before the room is ready, before your heart is steady. There is a beauty in divine delay that human eyes often miss. It humbles the spirit, teaching surrender. It trains you to rely on faith rather than validation. Waiting seasons refine your motives. They test whether you desire the gift or the giver. Many receive blessings but lose them quickly because they lack the patience to be processed. You, however, are being processed perfectly while you wait. Heaven is aligning unseen details, people you haven't met yet, opportunities not yet visible, and resources not yet released. Each piece must fit before the full picture is revealed. The waiting is the weaving. You are being prepared for a release that will happen so suddenly it will make sense of every previous stillness. The delay protects you from premature exposure. God knows that sometimes receiving too soon can destroy what faith has built. The waiting makes you strong enough to stand when the doors finally open. It's not punishment, it's preservation. Even nature speaks this truth. A seed does not bloom the moment it is planted. The soil must press upon it. The darkness must surround it. And the roots must anchor before the stem can rise. The seed never questions the soil. It simply trusts the process. You are that seed. The darkness around you is not burying you, it's building you. So, let this waiting teach you the rhythm of rest. Rest is not inactivity, it is trust in motion. Rest says, I know God is working even when I cannot see His hand. When you rest in divine timing, you stop striving and start flowing. The delay no longer frustrates you, it begins to strengthen you. In every divine delay, there is a lesson written in silence, the lesson of patience, of humility, of discernment. These lessons prepare you to handle the acceleration that follows. Because when God finally moves, it will not be gradual, it will be sudden. The stillness before the storm is not emptiness, it's energy gathering for a mighty release. And when that release comes, you will understand why He made you wait. You will see how every closed season protected you, how every delay was a step closer to divine fulfillment. You will realize that waiting did not waste time, it built time. Every second of stillness was an investment into your spiritual strength. So do not curse the delay. Embrace it as the birthplace of divine alignment. The longer heaven takes, the more detailed the masterpiece becomes. When God finally says, "Now," nothing on earth or in hell will be able to stop what is meant for you. The blessing will not arrive late, it will arrive perfect. Hold still in this moment. The delay is only the distance between promise and perfection, and you are closer than you think. The divine clock is never wrong, it is only precise. Soon, the waiting will end, and everything you prayed for will unfold effortlessly. You will realize heaven was never ignoring you, it was preparing you. Every silent moment was shaping strength that will sustain your sudden breakthrough. When it happens, it will feel like sunrise after endless night. The timing will be perfect, the doors wide, and your spirit ready. You'll understand that divine delays never steal destiny. They sculpt it into something unshakable and eternally aligned with God's greater plan. There is a moment in every chosen life when the fire burns hotter than it ever has before. It feels as if the heavens themselves have gone silent, and you wonder if you did something wrong. But this, chosen one, is not the end, it is the refining fire of faith. You are being tested not to destroy you, but to demonstrate what you carry within. Fire reveals what cannot be shaken. It consumes what is temporary, leaving only what is eternal. When God allows you to walk through the flames, it is not because He enjoys your suffering, it is because He trusts your strength. The fire is proof of divine confidence. You would not be in it if heaven did not know you could come out shining. The sacred text speaks through the prophet Zechariah. Chapter 13, verse 9, "I will put this third into the fire. I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, 'They are my people,' and they will say, 'The Lord is our God.'" This verse is more than poetry. It is a prophecy fulfilled in you. You are that one being refined like gold, melted and molded by the Master's hand. Every tear, every ache, every loss has been a part of this holy purification. The impurities of fear, doubt, pride, and dependency are being burned away so that your spirit gleams with unshakable faith. It is not punishment, it is purification. The hotter the flame, the purer the gold. And in this process, something divine is happening beneath the pain. The things that once controlled you are losing their hold. You are becoming stronger, wiser, and more radiant with every trial you face. When Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood in Babylon's furnace, they were not rescued from the fire, they were preserved in it. The fire lost its power to consume them because the presence of God stood within the flames. the same is true for you. The presence that promised to never leave you is right there in the middle of the heat. Sometimes the fire is necessary to prove the reality of his presence. You would never know how close he is unless the temperature rose high enough to make you reach for him. The flame forces focus. It burns away distractions. It turns superficial belief into unshakable conviction. Faith that has never been tested cannot be trusted. That is why the strongest warriors of heaven are the ones who carry the scent of smoke yet remain unburned. You have scars. Yes, but they are sacred signatures of survival. They tell the world that you have been through the flames and found God faithful. In this refining process, God does not ask you to be perfect, he asks you to stay. Stay in the furnace of faith long enough for him to finish his work. Many leave too early, escaping the heat but forfeiting the glory. The gold cannot be shaped if it keeps fleeing the fire. Stay. The same fire that frightens you is forming you. You are learning to praise in pain, to worship while waiting, to trust when you tremble. This is the furnace where destiny becomes diamond. The flames that sought to consume you are crafting brilliance within you. The world will soon see the reflection of God in your resilience. There will be a moment, soon, when you look back on this fiery season and realize that it was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to define you. The fire is temporary, but the glory it produces is eternal. When you emerge from this furnace, you will not come out empty. You will carry wisdom that only heat can teach, compassion that only pain can birth, and authority that only endurance can produce. You will speak, and the atmosphere will shift, because your words will carry the weight of one who has walked through fire and lived. So do not fear the flames. Chosen one, let them do their holy work. The fire is the final proof that you are ready for what's next. When it ends, and it will, you will come forth like gold, radiant and ready for divine assignment. The world will see your glow, but only heaven will know what it cost. When the fire fades, you will see that nothing essential was lost. Only the fragile burned away. What remains is pure, eternal, unbreakable, your true identity forged in divine flame. The scars you carry are not marks of defeat but medals of endurance. They testify that you survived holy fire and emerged crowned with strength. Now your spirit glows quietly, steady as refined gold. You no longer fear the heat because you've learned it never meant harm, it meant transformation, preparation, and proof of divine trust. There are moments when God gives instructions so quiet that you almost miss them, not because he hides his will, but because he is training you to hear with your spirit, not your senses. In this sacred silence, obedience becomes the language of love. Heaven doesn't test through noise, it tests through whispers. The world celebrates grand gestures, but heaven celebrates hidden obedience. When you follow divine nudges that no one else sees, you prove that your loyalty belongs to God alone. The unseen yes carries more weight than public applause. For the chosen, the smallest step of obedience often shifts the greatest mountains. The prophet Samuel once recorded this eternal truth in the sacred scrolls. Chapter 15, verse 22. To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. Obedience is not about ritual, it's about relationship. God is not impressed by what you give up, he's moved by how you trust him. Every time you choose his voice over your own logic, you open a new dimension of favor. Obedience, even when it hurts, is proof that you believe His plan is greater than your understanding. You may not always hear a thunderous voice from heaven. Sometimes it's a quiet conviction, a soft stirring, a sudden peace in your spirit. That's Him. The divine whisper doesn't argue, it invites. When God leads, He doesn't force, He gently asks, "Will you trust me here, right now?" Heaven is asking you that very question. This season is not about how loudly you can speak faith, it's about how quietly you can walk it. It's about doing what He asks, even when no one claps, even when it makes no sense. Because every time you say yes, even in secret, the unseen world shifts. Your next breakthrough doesn't require louder prayer, it requires deeper obedience. Heaven is less impressed by your declarations than by your decisions. You've asked for blessing, God is asking for belief. The test of this season is not your ability to talk about faith, it's your willingness to live it. And sometimes, obedience means staying still. Sometimes it means letting go. Sometimes it means building without evidence that it will work. Noah built the ark before a single drop of rain fell. Faith acts before proof appears. That's what separates the ordinary from the chosen, even when it costs you comfort. Obedience always pays with destiny. It refines you. It matures you. It gives you authority to speak, not just from revelation, but from experience. You will begin to walk with a quiet confidence because you'll know wherever God leads, provision follows. Now, as a prophetic act of agreement, type "speak, Lord" in the comments. This is not a command, it is a covenant. Those two words carry ancient power. You're not merely commenting, you are declaring your posture before heaven. You are saying, "My spirit is listening. My will is surrendered. My heart is ready." When you write "speak, Lord," it becomes more than text. It becomes a doorway. The phrase echoes through the spiritual realm, signaling that you are open to divine instruction. It tells God, "I no longer resist, I receive." The moment those words leave your heart, the heavens lean closer. This simple act breaks confusion. It aligns your path with clarity. You will begin to sense direction where you once felt disorientation. Peace will replace hesitation. The still, small voice you once doubted will grow familiar, and your steps will find rhythm in His guidance. Chosen one. Never underestimate the power of one surrendered phrase. "Speak, Lord" is how destiny begins. It's how purpose finds its direction. And it's how you prove that your ears belong not to the world, but to the one who made it. When obedience becomes your heartbeat, miracles become your language. And when heaven speaks again, you'll not only hear, you'll know. When you type "speak, Lord," you open a sacred conversation between heaven and your heart. Those words are not a reaction, they are surrender. You are inviting divine direction to rewrite confusion, signaling that you no longer seek control, but communion. Heaven always answers the soul that listens instead of demands. When you write "speak, Lord," you break the barrier of hesitation. It's your way of saying, "I trust your voice more than my vision." That declaration reshapes your atmosphere. Suddenly, peace replaces panic, and divine order begins to flow where chaos once lived. Obedience becomes easier because love leads it. When you declare "speak, Lord," Your spirit aligns with eternity's rhythm. It's the whisper that steadies storms, the phrase that silences doubt. You are declaring that divine wisdom outweighs worldly logic. The moment those words escape your lips, heaven recognizes a willing vessel ready to carry revelation into reality. When you whisper, "Speak, Lord," you remind the unseen realm that you belong to God completely. It's not a plea, it's permission. You're saying, "Lead me, correct me, shape me." From that place of humility, power flows, because every great movement of God begins not with noise, but with one surrendered listener. Something is shifting around you. You can feel it, the quiet tremor before transformation, the stillness that whispers that heaven is about to move. The long night is ending, and the horizon glows faintly with promise. You may not see the full light yet, but you can sense it rising. The trial is reaching its conclusion. The test is giving way to revelation. There is a sacred stillness that comes before breakthrough, like the moment before dawn when darkness trembles at the edge of the earth. That's where you are now, standing in the thin space between not yet and now. Everything you've endured has been preparation for this unveiling. What felt like delay was actually divine design, setting the stage for your elevation. Heaven has been orchestrating something intricate. The details, the timing, the alignment of people and purpose, all of it is being woven together with precision. You didn't miss your moment. Your moment was maturing behind the scenes. And now, the spiritual atmosphere shifts in your favor. The unseen turns visible. What you carried in faith will soon stand before you in form. The sacred words recorded in the book of Psalms, chapter 102, verse 13, declare, "You will arise and have compassion on Zion, for it is time to show favor to her. The appointed time has come." Yes, your appointed time is near. The tears you shed have watered this moment. Every unseen prayer has been currency in the invisible economy of heaven. Nothing has been lost. Everything has been accumulating interest in divine timing. And now, like seeds bursting through the soil, your prayers begin to sprout before your eyes. This is not random, it is revelation. Heaven is about to make visible what you carried privately for so long. The testing has produced trust, and trust has summoned timing. God is about to arise in your situation, not because you begged harder, but because the appointed time has arrived. Yet, even as this moment of divine release unfolds, it carries a quiet invitation, a whisper rather than a command. You are being invited to respond not out of duty, but out of recognition. Like a candle drawn to flame, your spirit knows when light appears. It's that pull you feel right now, the tug to stay connected to this flow of words, to keep the flame alive. If this message finds you here, standing on the edge of breakthrough, let your response be something gentle, something sacred. When you choose to like this message, imagine it as lifting your light toward heaven, a small flame joining thousands of others across the world. When you share it, see it as the ripple of hope leaving your hands, moving through digital waters to reach another soul, still fighting the storm. And when you quietly subscribe, think of it as planting a root in sacred ground, a promise to keep growing, to stay aligned with divine words that remind you who you are. These are not commands, they are invitations to participate in light. Engagement is not a transaction, it's transformation. Every act of connection becomes a spark that ignites warmth in unseen hearts. Somewhere, someone scrolling in silence might feel the same hope you now hold, simply because your light reached them. Heaven's movements often begin with the smallest human gestures, a word spoken in faith, a message shared in love, a decision to stay close to the flow of purpose. Every small act echoes through eternity, weaving the tapestry of divine alignment. You are part of something larger than algorithms, larger than screens. This is not about content, it's about calling. When light finds light, revival begins. When hearts align in faith, heaven leans closer. The same spirit that breathed these words into existence is breathing upon you now. So pause, breathe, and let gratitude fill your chest. You have survived the silence, passed the test, and now stand beneath the open sky of favor. You don't have to force what's coming, it's already in motion. Your task is simple: remain open, remain faithful, remain luminous. Let this message be a mirror reminding you of what heaven already knows, that your time has come. The wait is over, and the light has found you. The same God who allowed the trial is the God who now announces your triumph. The season has shifted. You are standing at the doorway of destiny, and heaven smiles because you are ready to walk through. When you lift your light, when you like, share, or simply remain, the act itself becomes prayer. The flame spreads. The story continues. The glory multiplies. Every gentle act of connection keeps the current of grace alive. What feels small here becomes vast in heaven, one light joining countless others until darkness itself begins to glow. Your quiet agreement with this message is worship without words, a silent yes that travels farther than you know. Awakening hope wherever it lands. Something begins to shift when your mind catches up to what your spirit already knows. You start to think differently, to see differently, to interpret life not through fear, but through faith. This is the awakening of the millionaire mindset, not one built on greed or glamour, but on stewardship, vision, and divine strategy. God is preparing you to manage abundance, not to worship it. The transformation you are walking through is internal before it is external. Heaven is changing the architecture of your thinking so that wealth will not become a weight but a weapon of purpose. You are being trained to handle resources as tools of restoration, not trophies of success. True prosperity begins in the mind before it appears in the material. According to the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 22, the blessing of the Lord brings wealth, without painful toil for it. This verse carries a principle that separates divine wealth from worldly riches. The world chases money and burns out in the process, but the chosen attract provision by alignment. When you are walking in purpose, wealth finds you. When you operate in wisdom, doors open without striving. That is the millionaire mindset God is shaping within you. Heaven is teaching you that money is not the miracle, it is the manifestation. The true miracle is the mindset that honors God above gain. When your motives remain pure, increase flows naturally. The same favor that preserved you in poverty will sustain you in prosperity. But to carry this blessing, your thoughts must be renewed. Every test you've faced has been mental warfare. The battle was never about your bank account, it was about your belief system. God has been tearing down the old patterns that kept you surviving instead of thriving. The mindset of scarcity, the fear of loss, the doubt that whispers not you all of it has been targeted by heaven's renewal. You are being trained to think like a builder, not a beggar. You will soon look at opportunities and see blueprints, not barriers. God is imparting strategies, ideas, and divine creativity that will not just provide for you, but impact generations after you. Wealth will not end with you, it will begin with you. This new mindset will demand discipline. Prosperity is not accidental, it's intentional. You must learn to manage what you prayed for. Heaven promotes those who plan. The same anointing that breaks chains also builds structures. Your calling is not just to receive favor, but to sustain it wisely. There is nothing unholy about abundance when it serves divine purpose. The enemy loves to twist the narrative, convincing believers that poverty equals purity. But lack does not glorify God, stewardship does. When you manage increase with integrity, you become a living testimony that the King still funds his kingdom through the faithful. The key is perspective. You must see wealth as worship, as an opportunity to mirror God's generosity on earth. Every resource he places in your hand is a seed meant to multiply. You are not called to hoard blessings, but to distribute them. In your giving, you will find growth. In your generosity, you will find joy. This shift requires trust. For too long, you have feared abundance, afraid that success would change you, or that blessings might vanish as quickly as they came. But God is rewriting that fear. He is anchoring your prosperity in purpose. You will not lose yourself when increase comes, because the process has already rooted you in humility. Heaven is not preparing you for temporary overflow, it's building a lifestyle of divine flow. The same wisdom that governed Joseph in Egypt will govern you. You will learn when to store, when to sow, and when to stretch. You will hold resources lightly, but manage them wisely. You are not just being blessed, you are being trusted. That is the higher call of prosperity, to handle heaven's resources with the heart of a servant and the strategy of a steward. Soon, your life will reflect divine order in every area: your finances, your thoughts, your peace. This is what happens when the mind aligns with heaven. Lack loses its voice, anxiety loses its grip, and abundance becomes natural. You will no longer chase provision, you will carry it. The millionaire mindset God is birthing in you is not about luxury, it's about legacy. What begins in your heart will flow through your hands, touching lives, transforming families, and building a future where divine generosity reigns. Your mind is being renewed, your capacity expanded, and your vision refined. You are not being made rich, you are being made ready. The treasure God is entrusting to you is greater than currency. It is wisdom, faith, and divine influence that multiplies wherever you walk. When your thoughts align with heaven, wealth becomes a language of worship. You no longer chase possessions, you channel purpose. Every resource you touch turns into testimony. Every gain becomes grace, and your life itself becomes proof that divine abundance flows through surrendered minds. There are moments when heaven begins to shift the atmosphere around your life without warning. Suddenly, what once resisted you begins to yield. What once felt heavy begins to lift. This is the evidence of divine transference, the moment when heaven decides that the faithful shall inherit what others mismanaged. You are standing in that moment now. For years, you have carried integrity through invisible seasons, obeying when no one noticed, giving when no one thanked you, believing when nothing seemed to move. What you didn't know was that every act of faith was being recorded in the economy of heaven. Every yes you whispered became currency. Every surrender became investment. And now, the exchange is beginning. The ancient promise still stands, as revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 22. The wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. This verse is not simply about money, it is about divine justice. Heaven is transferring not only resources, but also influence, ideas, and opportunities from the hands of the reckless to the hands of the righteous. You are not receiving stolen goods, you are reclaiming what has always been heaven's property. You are being trusted to steward what others squandered. This is not an ordinary shift, it is a kingdom transfer. The unseen realm has already declared it. You can feel it in your spirit, the tension before release. The quiet awareness that something greater is coming. The trials, the pruning, the waiting, it was all qualifying you for this transfer of trust. You see, wealth in heaven's language is not measured by possessions, but by purpose. It is not about accumulation, it is about assignment. You are being equipped with divine resources so that you can fund freedom, build restoration, and influence nations without compromise. God does not give wealth to inflate ego, He releases it to expand impact. In this next season, favor will not trickle, it will pour. But you must remember the covenant that governs the flow. The moment you forget that wealth is a tool, it begins to master you. Stay humble. Stay anchored. Stay yielded. For every blessing carries both promise and responsibility. This transfer will happen suddenly, quietly, and undeniably. Ideas will drop into your spirit that unlock doors. Partnerships will appear out of nowhere. Debts will dissolve. Provision will meet purpose. And you will know it was not your doing, it was divine orchestration. Heaven is positioning you not just as a receiver, but as a distributor. You are the vessel through which abundance flows. Others will drink from the wells your obedience dug. Your story will become a testimony that righteousness still reigns, and that God still rewards the faithful in ways no system can explain. Now comes the moment of agreement, the act of faith that aligns your heart with this word. Type 111 inches, the comments. These 3 ones are not a number, they are a symbol, a trinity of alignment. They represent oneness with God's will, God's timing, and God's purpose. When you type 111, you are declaring, I am in full alignment with heaven's transfer. You're not typing out of habit, you're participating in prophecy. Each digit is a declaration that you are ready not just to receive, but to reign responsibly. The number becomes your covenant signature, your spiritual yes to divine distribution. When you write 111, heaven reads it as permission to release, to replenish, to restore. You are telling the universe that you are no longer afraid of abundance because you understand its purpose. You are prepared to carry what others mishandled with integrity, humility, and purpose. The transfer is not coming to those who chase it, it is coming to those who can be trusted with it. You have proven that trust through tears, through trials, through testing, and now, heaven says, it is time. You will not need to strive for this. Divine wealth flows toward alignment like rivers to the sea. Simply stay faithful, stay watchful, and stay thankful. The same hand that once withheld is now releasing. The same heaven that once tested is now rewarding. Everything is aligning. The resources of the righteous are awakening. The transference has begun, and your obedience has made you eligible. The wealth, wisdom, and influence prepared for you are no longer in waiting, they are in motion. And soon, the evidence will be undeniable. When you type 111, you declare divine alignment, spirit, soul, and purpose moving as one. It is not superstition, it is surrender. You are saying, I am ready to handle what heaven releases, not as an owner but as a steward. Heaven records that readiness as trust. When you write 111, you seal covenant with heaven's rhythm. It means your mind no longer resists increase, and your heart no longer fears responsibility. You welcome abundance as an act of worship, not ambition. That agreement opens invisible gates. Each one becomes a line of connection between your faith and heaven's flow. You're not chasing wealth, you're channeling it. Your obedience becomes the currency through which divine provision continually circulates. You have faced seasons where everything you loved seemed to turn into ashes, dreams that crumbled, relationships that dissolved, opportunities that vanished. It felt like life itself was burning down around you, leaving nothing but smoke and silence. Yet, what you could not see in those moments was that the ashes were never the end, they were the beginning. For the chosen, ashes are not ruins, they are the soil where resurrection grows. There is a sacred principle that runs through the stories of every great soul, refined by God. Death always precedes life. Loss always precedes restoration. And ashes always precede beauty. The things that fell apart were not meant to end you, they were meant to reveal what cannot be taken from you. Through the ancient words of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 3. Heaven speaks to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. That promise is alive in you. The ashes of your old life are not a symbol of destruction, they are the evidence of transformation. You are not standing in a graveyard, you are standing in a garden waiting for growth. God never leaves his chosen ones buried in brokenness. He raises them in brilliance. Every loss has been a lesson, every heartbreak a holy breaking open of your spirit. The very things that hurt you most have carved out the space where new purpose can now dwell. Your tears have watered the ground of destiny, softening it for the seeds of new beginnings. You thought you were being reduced to nothing, but heaven was rebuilding you from the foundation up. You are rising, not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be. The version of you that is emerging carries both wisdom and fire. You have learned that you can survive what once would have destroyed you. You have learned that peace does not depend on circumstance, it flows from the center of faith. There is a kind of power that only comes from walking through pain and still choosing light. You now carry that power. You have looked into darkness and refused to surrender. You have stood in loss and kept your integrity. You have walked through grief and still guarded your gratitude. This is resurrection power, the quiet, steady strength of one who has risen from ashes with purpose blazing in their chest. The enemy thought the ashes would silence you, but they became the ink of your testimony. What you lost has made you dangerous to despair, because now you know that endings are only illusions in the hands of God. Everything that burns is reborn in greater form. Sometimes heaven lets certain things fall apart so that something unshakable can rise in their place. The old structures of your life were too small for the calling you now carry. The breaking was necessary to make room for expansion. It may have felt cruel, but it was sacred. You are stepping into a season where what once broke you will now bless you. The very memories that once brought pain will soon bring perspective. The ashes of yesterday will become the proof of tomorrow's anointing. Nothing you've endured will be wasted. Every scar is a sentence in the story of your strength. Rise from the ashes. Chosen one, the dust on your feet is the evidence of movement. You are not stuck in the ruin. You are walking toward renewal. The same God who allowed the fire is the one who will breathe upon those ashes and call forth new life. And when the world looks at you and wonders how you're still standing, let your existence be the answer. You are the living proof that grace still raises the fallen, that beauty can bloom from burnt ground, and that divine purpose never dies in the fire, it only multiplies. Hold your head high, even if there's still smoke around you. The glow that now surrounds your soul is not from the flames that burned you, it's from the light that rebuilt you. You are no longer broken, you are reborn. The ashes were simply heaven's way of clearing the ground for glory. From the ashes rises a new clarity, a vision shaped by pain yet purified by purpose. You now see that what ended was never meant to last. It merely made space for eternal things to take root and grow stronger within you. The smoke of loss no longer blinds you, it anoints you. You wear the scent of survival like perfume, proof that divine fire refines without destroying. Your heart now burns, not with sorrow, but with sacred resolve. Everything that was consumed has become catalyst. Every loss transformed into language of light. You walk forward not as a victim of fire, but as its masterpiece carrying beauty, strength, and wisdom that could only have been forged through holy flame. There comes a moment, quiet yet unmistakable, when everything begins to align: the right people, the right opportunities, the right timing. It feels as if the air itself shifts, carrying a rhythm that your spirit instantly recognizes. You sense that what was once scattered is now being drawn together by unseen hands. This is supernatural alignment, the meeting point between divine timing and human readiness. All the delays, detours, and disappointments begin to make sense here. You see how every no protected you, how every delay matured you, and how every closed door rerouted you toward purpose. Heaven was never ignoring your prayers, it was arranging your steps. Alignment doesn't always come through movement, it often comes through stillness. When the Israelites wandered in the desert, they followed the pillar of cloud by day and the fire by night. They didn't move until the presence moved. That is divine alignment, obedience to heaven's rhythm rather than to human restlessness. God is teaching you that timing is sacred. To move ahead of Him is to lose protection. To move behind Him is to lose opportunity. But to move with Him, that is power. It is written in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven." You are now stepping into your appointed time. The pieces that never seemed to fit are finally falling into place. People you thought were gone forever may reappear, but this time, the connection will be purposeful, not painful. Doors that once resisted you will now open smoothly, not because you forced them, but because you are walking in alignment. When your life aligns with divine order, effort decreases and effectiveness increases. What once drained you now flows naturally. You stop striving to make things happen and start discerning when things are meant to happen. This is not passivity, it is partnership with providence. Heaven's alignment is never accidental. Every relationship, every resource, every revelation is being positioned to fulfill a larger design. Some people were removed because they would have distorted your focus. Others are being brought near because they carry keys you need. Alignment is not just connection, it's correction. God adjusts your path so that your purpose runs parallel with His plan. In this season, you will begin to notice divine patterns repeating. Conversations will confirm what your spirit already sensed. Opportunities will reappear in refined form. The alignment is both internal and external. God is not only arranging circumstances, He is synchronizing your emotions, thoughts, and desires so that everything within you points toward destiny. Alignment also requires discernment. Just because something looks good doesn't mean it's God. The enemy loves to present imitations right before manifestation. Stay sensitive. You'll know the difference because true alignment comes with peace, not pressure. It feels effortless because heaven supports it. The counterfeit always demands striving. The authentic always carries serenity. This new alignment will bring acceleration. When everything aligns, movement becomes natural. Things that once took years will begin to unfold in months or even moments. That's not coincidence, it's culmination. The seeds you planted in tears are now reaching maturity. The harvest is aligning itself with your readiness. Remember, alignment is not about perfection, it's about positioning, even if you've made mistakes. Grace realigns you. God doesn't discard those who drift, He redirects them. Every wrong turn becomes part of the route when surrendered in faith. Divine alignment is not fragile, it's flexible. Soon, you will walk into rooms where your presence alone will confirm that timing has met preparation. Conversations will flow with precision. Ideas will emerge without effort. You will realize that alignment is not something you chase, it's something you attract by becoming who you were meant to be. Your heart will rest because it will finally feel at home. The chaos that once filled your mind will quiet. Not because circumstances are perfect, but because you are. You'll see that alignment is peace wearing purpose. It's the still knowing that you are exactly where God intended, doing exactly what heaven ordained. So stay sensitive to subtle shifts. Follow peace as your compass. And remember, when everything around you starts to align, it's not luck, it's legacy unfolding. Heaven has finished its rearranging. And now all that's left for you to do is walk in step with grace. When alignment arrives, resistance loses power. What once felt forced now flows. The path ahead unfolds without struggle because your spirit and heaven finally move in harmony, guided by unseen hands toward divine destinations. Every delay now reveals its purpose. Each closed door becomes a landmark of mercy. You understand timing not as waiting but as worship, trusting that God's order never misses a moment. And as alignment deepens, peace settles permanently. You no longer chase signs, you become one. Your very presence confirms heaven's order steady, radiant, and unshakably synchronized with the heartbeat of divine purpose. There is a strange and sacred beauty in being misunderstood before you are revealed. You have walked through seasons where your silence was misread as weakness, where your faith was mocked as foolishness, and where your kindness was mistaken for naivety. but heaven saw everything. Every hidden act of endurance was recorded. Every unspoken prayer, every tear you wiped away, alone, heaven took note. Now, a shift is approaching. This is the season of vindication, not through vengeance, but through visibility. You are about to be seen, not because you demanded attention, but because the light within you can no longer be contained. What was formed in private will now be displayed in power. God is preparing to make public what he refined in secret. There is a verse written in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. This is not just poetry, it is prophecy. The very spaces that rejected you will witness your restoration. The same people who underestimated your journey will have front-row seats to your divine unfolding. But your victory will not humiliate it, will heal. For those who doubted you will see not your pride, but your peace. Public vindication does not arrive with noise, it arrives with calm confidence. It is not about proving others wrong, it is about proving God faithful. The anointing you carry now will speak louder than any explanation. You will not need to justify yourself, your results will do it for you. There will be moments when the spotlight finds you, and you will realize it was never about the stage, it was always about stewardship. God raises you publicly only after he can trust you privately. You endured seasons of silence so that this moment could arrive without pride. Now, you can shine without losing humility, succeed without losing surrender. And when that moment arrives, your response will be gratitude, not gloating, because you'll remember every night that brought you here, every fire that purified you, every wilderness that shaped you. The overflow is not just wealth, it is wisdom, patience, and grace. You will walk with a gentleness that disarms jealousy and a strength that commands respect. People will sense something different in your presence, a quiet authority, born of brokenness, healed by grace. This is what divine vindication looks like, not revenge, but radiance. And now, in this moment of reflection, if your heart resonates with these words, let your agreement become a quiet offering. When you choose to like this message, imagine it as lighting a small lantern in the distance, its glow joining countless others, forming a constellation of shared faith. When you share it, see it as releasing a dove from your hands, carrying hope to someone wandering through their own silent night. And when you subscribe, picture it as planting a tree beside living waters, a promise that you will stay rooted where your soul is nourished. And when you leave a comment, imagine it as carving your initials into sacred wood, a quiet mark of belonging. It's your whisper to heaven saying, I was here, I believed, I endured. Every word you write becomes a ripple, reminding others they're not alone in the waiting. These gestures are not transactions, they are translations of spirit. They turn simple interaction into sacred symbolism. You are not merely engaging a post, you are participating in a movement of light, where faith becomes contagious and endurance becomes encouragement. Each click becomes a quiet prayer. Each share becomes a spark. Each subscription becomes a seed. You are joining hands, unseen yet united, with other chosen ones across the earth, each light strengthening the next, each story intertwining with another, forming the tapestry of heaven's remnant. There is no pressure here, only presence. This is an invitation, not an instruction. The same spirit that led you to this message is the same one whispering, "Stay connected to the light," because the light grows when it's shared. You stand now as proof that patience pays, that obedience honors, that faith finishes. You are not waiting for validation, you are walking in vindication. The season that once broke you is now bowing to you. The storms that tried to drown you are now washing your feet in preparation for the next step. So lift your head, radiant one. Let your peace preach louder than your pain. Let your glow be the gospel. Your life is the evidence that what God promises, He performs. And as you breathe in this moment, know this truth. Vindication is not about being seen, it's about being sent. Your story is no longer a wound, it's a weapon of light. Go forth and shine, not to prove them wrong, but to prove Him right. When you light your lantern, when you like, share, comment, or plant roots through connection, you join heaven's quiet revolution of faith. The glow spreads, the kingdom expands, and darkness remembers its defeat. There comes a point when abundance stops feeling like a dream and begins to feel like destiny fulfilled. You stand at the edge of something vast, an ocean of opportunity, overflowing provision, and divine purpose. This is what happens when obedience and timing collide. You have passed the tests, endured the refining, and now you step into overflow. But this overflow is not chaotic, it is controlled. It flows not to drown you, but to define you. You are entering a realm of supernatural supply, where needs are met before they are spoken, where favor follows you like a shadow, and where peace surrounds you like armor. This is the fruit of faithful waiting. As written in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 8, "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work." This is not exaggeration, it is establishment. You have been built to carry blessing without breaking. The weight that once felt impossible is now manageable because your character has expanded to match your calling. What once overwhelmed you now obeys you. You are learning that overflow is not the absence of challenge, but the abundance of grace. Every delay that once discouraged you was preparing you to handle this level of increase. You now understand that God does not rush greatness. He reveals it when the vessel is ready. You have been tested in scarcity to prove you can be trusted in surplus. This is divine balance. He never gives before He grounds. Now the floodgates open. Provision begins to flow from unexpected directions. What you lost returns in multiplied form, yet with peace attached. The restlessness that once haunted you has turned into rhythm. You no longer strive for results, you move with grace, confident that whatever is meant for you will meet you. This overflow isn't loud or boastful, it's quiet, steady, and sustainable. It does not demand attention, it demonstrates alignment. Others will notice the change, but you will know it's not luck, it's legacy unfolding. You'll see it in the ease of answered prayers, in the flow of divine opportunities, in the peace that replaces panic. The purpose of overflow is not indulgence, it's influence. God never blesses you just to make you comfortable. He blesses you to make you capable. What He pours into you must pour out of you. You are called to be a living channel of grace, distributing light and provision wherever darkness has taken root. And in this calling, generosity becomes your language. You begin to give, not out of obligation, but out of overflow. You give because giving feels natural. The same hand that once held tightly now releases freely, knowing that divine supply never runs dry. This is abundance with awareness, prosperity that flows through purpose. In your relationships, your words will carry weight. In your work, excellence will feel effortless. In your spirit, peace will reign like a constant melody. You are not only living in overflow, you are walking as overflow. Everything connected to you will begin to flourish because the source within you is eternal. The people around you will notice that things shift when you enter the room. That's because true prosperity changes atmospheres. It's not about possessions, it's about presence. The favor of God resting on your life will begin to overflow into your environment, bringing balance where there was chaos and clarity where there was confusion. Remember this truth: you were not created to chase blessings, you were created to carry them. The overflow you're stepping into will not just meet your needs, it will meet the needs of others through you. This is kingdom abundance, never selfish, always shared. Do not fear the magnitude of what's coming. You will not drown in this flood, you will sail on it. The current is divine, and it carries you toward assignments that match your anointing. You won't have to force the flow, you'll simply follow it. Every drop of abundance has a direction, and you are that vessel. The same faith that sustained you in lack will stabilize you in plenty. Your heart is the anchor, your humility is the compass. Keep both close, and overflow will never overwhelm you. Soon, you'll look around and realize that this is what you were waiting for, not just more, but meaning. Not just success, but significance. You will see that God never wanted you to survive, He wanted you to supply. The season of overflow has begun, and you are its steward. The river has found its course, and it runs through you. Overflow is no longer something you chase, it's who you are. Every breath, every word, every step becomes evidence that divine abundance flows effortlessly through your surrendered life. Your cup doesn't just fill, it fuels others. Wherever you walk, provision follows. You are heaven's river, carrying restoration, renewal, and radiant grace into thirsty places. There comes a moment when everything that once felt like prophecy begins to manifest in real time. The words spoken over your life no longer sound distant, they sound familiar, alive, breathing in rhythm with your reality. You begin to realize that you are standing inside what you once prayed for. Every battle, every tear, every test was a thread in this divine tapestry. And now, it unfolds before you in fullness. You are walking through the season of fulfillment. Heaven is no longer preparing you, it is positioning you. The years of waiting were not wasted, they were woven into wisdom. You now carry what the ancient saints called the weight of glory, a calm strength that only comes from surviving storms without losing song. Through the sacred words in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28, we are reminded, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Those words are not theory for you anymore, they are testimony. You've seen how even the hardest seasons became holy ground, how pain became pruning, how rejection became redirection. You now understand that divine orchestration is not about comfort, it's about completion. Every moment, even the confusing ones, was leading here. This final phase of your transformation is not loud, it is luminous. There is no need to announce it, the evidence speaks. You move differently now, with the quiet authority of someone who has walked through fire and found God faithful on the other side. You carry peace that cannot be shaken, because it is no longer borrowed from circumstance, it is built from covenant. The world around you may not fully understand the glow that follows you now. They may see success, but what they are witnessing is surrender. They may see confidence, but what they are sensing is conviction. You have become living proof that divine process produces divine presence. Heaven's work within you is now visible through everything you touch. Conversations carry revelation. Actions release healing. You are no longer striving to be seen, you are simply shining. The same spirit that guided you through wilderness now flows through you as wisdom. Where you once sought confirmation, you now move with clarity. Every scar tells a story of survival. Every smile hides a memory of mercy. The strength you now possess did not come cheaply. It was forged in nights of wrestling and mornings of worship. And that is why you will never waste your breakthrough on pride. You will use it as a platform for purpose. You've learned that true power does not need to prove itself. It simply performs. When God brings a chosen one into fulfillment, it's not for applause, but for assignment. The blessing is never the destination, it's the beginning of greater responsibility. What you've received must now become what you release. This is the maturity of the chosen, to understand that fulfillment is not about arrival, it's about alignment. You are not at the finish line, you are at the foundation of something new. The same grace that brought you here is now calling you to build, to bless, to become a beacon for others still walking through darkness. Your story will awaken hope in those who think they've been forgotten. Your faith will ignite flames in those who lost theirs in disappointment. You will not need to preach, your presence will prophesy. People will find comfort just by standing near the peace you carry. You will become living evidence that God still fulfills His promises. And as you move forward, you'll feel heaven's gentle whisper reminding you, this is what I meant all along. The waiting, the wounding, the wilderness, it all had a reason. Every delay was designed to teach you dependence. Every struggle built stability. And now, every step you take carries eternal significance. You no longer walk uncertainly, you walk assured. You no longer question whether you are chosen, you know it. You no longer fear the unknown, because you've learned the unknown is often the birthplace of miracles. You are no longer a wanderer, you are a witness. This is fulfillment, the merging of destiny and devotion, the harmony of divine promise and human perseverance. The test is complete, the preparation fulfilled, and the light you now carry is not temporary, it's timeless. You have become what heaven dreamed when it created you. A vessel refined, a voice redeemed, a vision realized. You are not just surviving history, you are shaping it. And as you move into the future, you will do so with quiet confidence, knowing that everything was worth it. Fulfillment is not a finish line, it's the unfolding of eternal purpose. You stand where heaven's promises touch earth, carrying proof that divine timing never fails, and faith never returns empty. Your story now breathes hope into others. Every step forward whispers, God is faithful. You are both the prophecy and its living fulfillment. And now, chosen one, we arrive at the end of this divine journey, not the end of the message, but the beginning of your manifestation. You have walked through fire, wilderness, and waiting. You have been tested, refined, and transformed. Every word spoken here was not coincidence, it was confirmation. Heaven has been preparing you for this moment of awakening. This is where revelation meets response. What you carry now is not just inspiration, it's ignition. The light within you has grown stronger through every section, every truth, every pause. You are no longer seeking signs, you have become one. The proof of transformation is not in what you feel, but in how you move from here. If these words have stirred something deep within you, let your response become an act of worship, not duty. When you choose to like this message, imagine it as striking flint against stone, a small spark that joins countless others, keeping the flame of truth alive. When you share it, see it as releasing light into someone else's night, a gentle reminder that they too are chosen, seen, and destined for more. When you subscribe, picture it as building an altar of connection, a sacred space where you and heaven meet again through future words. And before you go, leave a comment, not as noise, but as a note in heaven's song. Let your words be your witness. You might write, "I receive," or simply leave a heart, but whatever you type becomes a trace of faith, proof that this message found a home in you. Every action here, every click, every word, every whisper is a continuation of this story. You are not an observer, you are part of the movement. The light does not end when the screen fades, it travels with you. So walk now with that radiance. Carry the stillness of faith and the fire of purpose wherever you go. You are not leaving this message, you are becoming it. When you light, share, comment, or plant roots through connection, you keep heaven's river flowing across hearts, across nations, across time. The story continues through you.